Welcome to Trading Lounge and the commodities, and starting with Bitcoin here, we've had a sharp drop off, and it's kind of interesting really because I think it's a little bit what the Nasdaq is going through. So this particular little pattern here, what we might need to do is we might need to put wave 4 over here for this, and this particular pattern here, we'll have a look at it on the intraday in a moment, but I'll just bring the Nasdaq in here, and with the Nasdaq we've got a wave 3 here, and we're looking for an A and an ABC for the B wave, and then down for the C wave. Now because we're in 3 waves here and 3 waves here, it's possible we could have 3 waves here as well, an A and a B and a C wave to finish off down here. We could even have the low in here at the moment because it's a little bit weird here, but we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So there's a couple of ways that this could finish off. But anyway, that's not so much the point. The point is that this particular pattern here is very much like Bitcoin. So if we bring a Bitcoin chart up, let me just get my own here from the other charting program. So this is what I think is going on. We've got wave 3 here with an A wave here, an A, B and C wave for a B wave up here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to come down here to finish off. So I think that we're nearly there, and this pattern here is very much the same as when we look at it, very much the same as the Nasdaq here. They're slightly different time frames, so they look a little bit weird, but the A, the B and the C wave down here, but they could be a little bit different. And these patterns are actually being created by NVIDIA and Meta platforms, and there's a bunch of others as well. But look, this is the gist of it, so nothing to panic about. An A wave, a B wave and 1 and 2 here, going down for the 3rd wave. The 4th wave will take some time, it'll be a bit sticky around the 65, and then another little move down here to shake out the weak ones, and then a move up to 80, where we can at this level here we can expect some type of correction across that 80 level there as well. So Bitcoin's all pretty snug and happy here, and the good news is that the bigger the correction here, the better the trend over here. So all good for little Bitcoin. I'll put that there, put this over here. Now we basically want to look at the bigger picture here now for the dollar, the yields and the bonds. So let's see what's going on there, because obviously they affect markets as well. So we're looking, what have we got here? We've got the yields here. So we've got on the bigger picture here, just sort of go back and have a look at the weekly. I know that you know all this already, but basically this is the whole trend up from the low interest rates here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. It's possible that this move up here, right, it could just be wave 1 and we put wave 5 further up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's quite possible, but otherwise that's what's going on with the rest of the markets around the place. It's probably a reasonable idea here, but just pointing out that it's a possibility, because you want to put all the counts on the table and then you want to sort of eliminate them one by one and get a bit of a consensus what the other markets are doing, because they'll all point and pivot off each other. So this is following the dollar, the interest rates are the important thing, and then you've got the dollar tracking this, and you've got the bonds going the other way, and so on. So yeah, we're still looking for this ABC correction in here for this. So let's just go in for this in terms of the daily chart here. So obviously, when we look at wave B in Elliott Wave terms, it can be viewed pretty much like a wave 4 really, because wave 4s can get quite complicated, and so can wave Bs. Out of the say dozen different types of corrections, then they can all pretty much occur in wave 4 and B. So it's kind of only once they mature that you kind of go, oh, that's what it is. So sometimes you just got to kind of be okay with actually not knowing everything, but we know enough that we are in this particular pattern. So that means that I've got this as an ABC for the A wave here, and then a B wave here, and then from the B wave I was looking for 5 waves up here that could pull up, up into, higher into the supply levels above the 61.8% as 1 and 2, and going up for wave 3 and all this. But it could also be counted as an ABC here for a W, and then an X wave, a WXY here. This could also be an ABC pattern moving up here. It could be in 3 waves up here. That's the thing. So all I know is that we can now short under this low here. That's what I know. I know that's 5 waves here. We're still seeing 5 waves to the upside, so the likelihood of pushing higher is certainly on the cards. And yeah, I'd expect we'll come up into the box up here further. That's all. So there's still a fair bit of time to come up into this particular space. Now the bonds over here we'll be doing the opposite, and in the bigger picture as well, on the weekly chart. It's always good to have a bit of a look. While the yields were going up, this was all coming down here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So we've come down for an A wave here, then an A and a B and a C wave up here for a B wave up here, so to speak. And yeah, that's where we are. So we're in this B wave here. So on the daily chart here, we can look at this B wave that we're in here. We can look at this in a couple of different ways. First of all, I know that we can go long above here now. That's something. It's not everything, but it's something. So here I can count 5 waves down here. This is, yeah, impulsive here, I guess. So this one here is in 3 waves here, and this one's in 3 waves here. So look, this could all be counted differently. We could put this down here and have an WXY here, WXY here as a small one, and then another ABC pattern here. So an ABC pattern here and an ABC pattern here. It could play out in a couple of different ways. I don't think it's that important at the moment. I mean, it would be good to know for sure. But you don't want to sort of BS yourself into something. That's where the problems start. So we want to move on evidence, and this has dropped pretty quickly here. So one would say, well, obviously it's not over just yet. It's still, still needs to find its feet and still needs to build a case to the upside. So we could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 coming down here, and 4 and 5. I don't know, but the 90 here is where it's going to be finding support. And coming through group 1, 91, 92 and 93, it's going to get some support there as well. So we're still looking for it to finish off, whichever way you want to look at it. So if the bonds are moving down and the yields are moving up, well, then the dollar here is going to be doing the same thing as well, so as the yield. So we can look at it in a couple of different ways. We could look at, first of all, we can look at wave B over here. Okay, and this wave A can go over to here as an A and a B and a C wave. There's a couple of configurations in here as well that you could look at. So it's kind of a bit of a guessing game. So the move down here, we could have wave B over here, and that means that we're coming down for wave C over here. Okay, so that means that this would be wave 1 here, and we've got an A and a B and a C wave here somewhere for wave 2. So when the yields top out and bonds bottom out, then we can have this here as such. And we'll have a look at this trend in a moment. The other thing is that, and this would be the A, the B and the C, we can look at that. Otherwise, this would come all the way over here further, and we would look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But that's a little bit time consuming, and I was sort of thinking about 20 days to finish that off, but the bonds and the yields could possibly finish off a little bit earlier. So we're kind of a little bit open to the situation, but once again, we can short under this particular level here. So this little moving up here, if we come to the Dixie here, I thought I might have had it on the 4 hour. Just let me go here somewhere. Yeah, okay, this will do the trick. So basically, if we look at this as wave 1 here, then we've got this up here as a raggedy old sort of wave A here and wave B here, and then we'll need to look, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so this is 1 and 2 in here, this is 1 and 2 here, this is a little 1 and 2 and 1, I have to go and have a look at that, but anyway, that wave 3's not there, that wave 4's not there, and that wave, this is the shortest path to the upside, but even still, this will take a little while to get to get up there. I mean, if we consider for a moment that, just use this green here, if this is halfway through the trend here, as 1 and 2 and yada yada yada, then we can say that you know, this was on the 11th here roughly, and now, you know, we're way over here in the, you know, we've had Easter of course as well, but that particular time slot here is what we would need over here to finish this off. So if you're long in certain pairs, you know, like the dollar yen or something, you can just, you know, stay on that course really, or short Aussie and all those sort of things. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment. It has just taken out the top there, which is good. So that means that we're definitely in this particular move here, you know, so we're either in this one here, or we'll have to look at the bigger picture, and that's the same thing there. It doesn't stay on the same time frame, just jumps time frame. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that's the dollar, the bonds, and the yields. So they're not finished in their correction, whichever way we want to look at it, you know. It's a similar. So the main point is that the dollar is pushing up higher in that. Okay, so let's go and have a look at gold and silver. And okay, well, we're on the silver chart and we're on the weekly chart here. This is the bigger picture of it. We've been looking at it as an A, B, C, D, and E, and finished here, and looking for it to move up higher here. And it's certainly sort of moving off quite nicely. This is a weekly chart here, so I'll just go into the day chart here. So I'll just go to my other chart program here to check on this here, which I haven't seen for a little while. Okay, I've got that as well. I just wanted to check that low there. Yeah, so we're starting from here. So if I just go back here, I'm just going to move that wave C over there, because that just did my head in then. Even though it hasn't made a bit of a thingy bob there, but that's okay. I'm just going to go with that. So yeah, so coming into these old highs here, you could imagine that, I mean, there's a lot of volume coming in here, isn't it? That's fantastic. So still, getting through old highs is always a bit of a journey. Hi there, we've got a great opportunity coming up on April the 14th to the 21st. It's going to be a free week for TradingLounge. So you'll get access to 6 analysts that cover most markets, forex, ASX stocks, trade recommendations for most markets, a great social chat, great education, currencies, commodities, swing trading, and so on, sectors, US sectors, and US stocks. So it's a great little opportunity to check out TradingLounge, absolutely no cost whatsoever. Just put in your name and email, and I will respond with you for your logins for April the 14th to 21st, and that will be at tradinglounge.com. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside journey. The next level here is 25. So somewhere, let's go back in and check on this other one here. Silver. Put that there. So we look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can look at that as 1 here. Just bear with me a second. As I say, I'm the most messiest Elliott Wave person out there. I try to improve, but there we go. So I always start off at the low point here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we've still got a fair way to go. The next level here, the 26 is important, but actually the 26.50 is more important. And now we're getting into group 2 here, which would be 27, 20. 27 is important. And of course the 28 here. So all of this is minor group 2. There's other numbers in here that are important, but the important point about all of this is that we need to find out if this number here is going to glean support here. If that gleans support here, then what it's telling me is we're going to leave this number and we'll be heading up to this number. That's the difference. Okay, so looking good. I could extend this out further. It's not really an issue in that regard, but I'll just keep it really reasonably conservative at this particular point and keep a bit of an eye on it. I'll see how it sort of plays out, but it can come back and test these old highs here, you know. That's what I was sort of thinking here, coming back and you know, coming up here a little bit further and testing this here before heading higher. Okay, so anyway, that's that. We'll have a look at gold, and I'll just have a look at GDX as well here for a moment. So we talked about GDX here coming off this daily chart, coming off this low here as 1 and 2. I don't think I put that in the portfolio, actually. It doesn't really matter. You can still pile in. But we've got 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2. So we're still building to the upside here. That should be a bit tighter here. There will be a decent correction across the 33 here because that's minor group 1. And then once that's done here, then we'll push up to the 5 here, and then probably up to the 8 over here somewhere. We'll keep sort of keeping an eye on that. So we've got that impulse wave here. So once again, this is about halfway through the trend. So this one here is taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yada, yada, yada. So we've still got another sort of month to the upside here for this. Okay, so that's one thing. So that makes it, if that's got to go up, then we could say that, you know, US spot gold here. We had a look at this in the monthly chart yesterday, having a look at the big picture here, which is always good. I mean, it's great when you can come back this far, isn't it? Back into the 30s here. That's fantastic. So I'm just looking at all of this as 1 and 2 here, and I mean, my count is quite bullish. I'm not a gold bug. I mean, I like most things, but 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and this move up here, we're looking at this as 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for 1 and 2. So we've got 1 and 2 over there, 1 and 2 here, and we'll have 1 and 2 here. And then we'll continue to move up further. So I just see a bullish market, you know, full stop. So, you know, it's a shame that gold stocks don't really pay very good dividends, really. But anyway, that's that. So let me just, so to work this little pattern in here a little bit on the weekly charts here, from this primary wave 4 here, we're going up as 1 and 2 here. Got to change that. I'll just cancel that out there. So I have to lift them all up. I think 1 and 2 here, and we're going up into 3 up here, pushing this up here, and this goes up here, and so on. So we're in this sort of pattern here, pushing up. Now this here could be counted differently here. I've got this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's not right. We can push this up here. I can put also what we have been doing is why I'm here. I'll just put this in here as 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and push that over to there, push this into here, take this as minor, just because this particular move in here, we can look at it in 2 different ways, as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. We could look at the whole thing as just wave 1 here as well and 2 here. I'll need to spend some time and have a look at other markets around the planet and figure that out, but it's not a huge deal. These types of 1s and 2s kind of figure themselves out when we start seeing the 4s and 5s a little bit further up the pathway here. But this is just gives you a bit of an idea of the size of the trend that we could be looking at here with this. And then from the weekly we can go to the daily here. Yeah, so 1 and 2. In this case, I haven't got it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. I've just got it as wave 1 here and 2 here, because there is a case for that. And then this one over here would be 3, 4, 5 coming up here for this. So it's just another way to look at it. I'll just have a look at my other charting program here. In this case, we've got 1 and 2 here. And in this case, we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. Quite a big wave 2 for this scenario. So the other count has got wave 1 here and wave 2 over here. So I haven't really decided on that just yet. I'd like to, like I said, I've got to have a look around at other markets. Let's just go and have a look at the intraday now. So this is 20,000 ticks here. So we've got this 1 and 2 business that needs to be resolved. But the rest of it here is pretty easy to follow in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. and we've got this as 1 and 2, and we'll go up here for 3 and 4 here, and so on here. So we still need to push up here a little bit higher. We'll do a dance across the 2300 here, and it'll be something like this here if that's the 23. This is also the top of group 1. Wherever you see a 3, it will be group 1. And I'll just go from 20,000 ticks down into 1,000 ticks here, because this is where we were working. So we've got a couple of trades here, which is in the commodity portfolio thing in here. For gold. We've got a few trades in there now, but yeah, there's a couple of futures trades here. We'll keep the stop out of the way. We've got 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2. I could probably put that here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll still need to move up there a little bit further. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here for that, and then this thing here, and then this here, and then this here. So it could get a little bit sort of a bit big over here. There could be something, you know, I mean, just take this with a pinch of salt, of course, you know, but the takeaway here is that don't do anything. Just don't touch any buttons. Just keep the stop well out of the way, and we'll get this will just migrate from being resistance to support, and this is the number 3 here is really important, because it will, if we get tested support here, which appears to be the case, then we'll sever any pull coming in from this number, and we'll be pulled to this number, to the 5. So the Fibonacci sequence as a price ratio here, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and so on. So that's that there. So that's all gold and silver. So nothing to do, except you could probably buy some more in stock, would be better. And yeah, so just let me bring up my sheet that I work with here. So that's precious metals, so that's good. I do want to go sort of left field here a little bit and just look at China for a moment. I've just been keeping a track on China. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, it's doing everything here that I expected it to do. So, I mean, we're all hearing stories about China being, you know, not so good and everything, but, you know, it's basically, what did Rothschild, the banker back in 1780 or whatever, say, buy when there's blood on the street or something. So yeah, this big triangle pattern that we've been looking at is wave 3 over here, with the A, the B, the C, the D, and the E over here. And we've got this pegged in here as finished. This is a monthly chart. We go to the weekly chart and just drill in here again. And, you know, the thing here is that we are looking at this impulse wave. So to confirm that this is correct, we're just looking for an impulse wave and basically getting support on that there. And we can see good volume coming in for all of this. So I think there is, you know, this is telling me that there is the sentiment in China. We're at an inflection point here. This is where the, what's the word these days? Pivot. Yeah. So this is the pivot for China that we're looking at. And we've been looking at it for months, you know. So, you know, we've watched this come all the way down, looking for the turn, got the turn, looking for an impulse wave. It's not that we're buying this, but what this will do, this will help base metals, you know. So we didn't look at base metals yesterday, and not that interested today either, but I do want to have a look at uranium. So there is a bit of chatter about that. So this is my old uranium chart. So yeah, so we've got these 5 waves up here for, you could have it as an A wave as well here, but I just feel that it's quite good as a wave 2. It's not a complicated. If I had to put this way over here, then I'd look at this as a B wave here. But it's a simple ABC pattern here, and yeah, it's pretty simple. So 1 and 2, and then what we're looking for over here is wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here to make wave 1 over here. Now, if we had this as an A wave, this would be a B wave and this would be a C wave, and that would be the end of it. But fundamentally speaking, you know, with the energy situation around the world, I just don't think it's the end of uranium at this particular point in time. But, you know, we've all been wrong. We'll see. But and this is also behaving more like a wave 1 here, by the way, rather than a wave C. But anyway, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 here. So we want to talk about this today, and then up here for wave 5 of 1, and then back for wave 2 here, and then up again. Now, the thing here is that I had always figured that this would be some type of A wave here, B wave here, and C wave down here for this wave 4 here. It's quite large at this point, you know, compared to the previous wave 4 here. So I'm wondering if we need to squeeze in some sort of ABC pattern into this point here and bring this over to here, or bring it to here at least. I'm not quite sure. Or I could do this here, probably be a WXY or something, and put it here and look at the impulse wave here. So I just want to talk about this a little bit here. So the main point, because you know, it could run from this point. If it was going to be an ABC, then it would, if this was going to be an ABC pattern here for the B wave here, this would have to be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. So the C wave is not playing out very nice here, because this as 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here, because this one here is overlapping this one here. So to call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here is not really the go. So it's more likely this is 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. And then this is behaving like a third wave here. If it was a B wave here, this is the pocket. This is the 62 to 65%. So it shouldn't really go much further. Sure, we can let it go up into, there's nothing really stopping it here. So we can let it go up a bit further. We can let it go up to here somewhere, and then sort of pull back. And then we would want to see it like work on down from that point. But if it doesn't do that, then we need to find a long position. Then we need to bring this down here over to this high here, and then look to go long, you know, at that point. Because we've been building in here for quite some time, you know, through here. And yeah, so these are not in the portfolio actually. What the new website wasn't done at that point, you know. But we wanted to hold through all of this, because at this level here, we were looking for basically, you know, the normal classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and the ABC pattern. And basically that's what we've got. We've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and some sort of ABC pattern. So, you know, maybe we should be long in here, you know, but just wasn't doing it for me at that point. So yeah, so I think we just give it a little bit more time, and we'll see the best way to go about handling this situation. And I'll talk to our commodity man as well. He's pretty fantastic on these sorts of things, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, the other point too, as I mentioned to one of our members this morning, is that when you get to a level, you know, a big number, it's best not to do anything. It's best, you know, to just allow it to be for a while, and just to see if it sits on there, if you get support. You know, it's like this here. We would trade to these numbers and get out. You know, we wouldn't buy at this number unless we had a really, really good reason for it, you know. And I know I'm ugly enough and crusty and old enough to know that we don't chase the first high above the level either. You know, we wait for this, and now we're in a situation of, well, you know, are we going to get wave 4 over here? Because that's the logical thing over here. But this is telling me we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and this is the third wave here. So it's telling me we're going to be going up here further, you know. So then I've got to think to myself too, if we do add here, how far are we actually going to get before we get this wave 2 back? And how far is this wave 2 going to come back? And we're on an ETF here, so we don't have to pay any financing costs. So we could probably hold this because we wouldn't want to let this get away on us either, you know, because it could just continue to build up here, you know. I could put this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then look at this here as wave 1 and 2 in here, for example, and then put wave 3 up here, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 in here, 4 and 5. 5 will be up here. There'll be a struggle up here because it will be the old highs, so there'll be wave 3, and that's normal wave 3 at the old highs there, and then wave 4 coming back here, and then wave 5 up here. But kind of, it's okay, but it's a little bit small for a fifth wave. And if this comes back, we'd have to hold it back in. If we went long here, we'll be back over here, you know. So it's a little bit of thought to be had here. I mean, because at the end of the day, well, we might as well just go long here at the $30 and let it go up here and let it come back here, and then, you know, if it does come back here, then we just add more over here. So, you know, a smaller position right on the 30 could be quite good. But we're just going to wait it out a little bit. I'm just going to put Mr. E back over there, and let's just see what we get here. But it is looking impulsive at this point, so not sure about this here or this over here for this. Okay, so that's uranium. I won't do the others. I was going to have a look at the grains and the softs. Sammy said there's some things coming up in corn, perhaps. Let me just have a look at corn here just for a moment. Commodities. I think he mentioned corn. Let's just have a look. All right, I see, yeah, 4-hour chart. Okay, we're playing against the trend here. So we're basically retesting the 5 here. That's what's going on. So the 5 is still way up here. Yeah, I think we could take that trade. So we'll have a look at that a bit closer shortly. I'll talk to Sammy about that. Okay, so that's how I do want to have a look at the energy market. So we want to have a look at crude oil. So crude oil. So while the dollar and the yields are moving to the upside, we're likely to see this continue to the upside, as I've been saying. This is a 61.8%. This is a 78.6%. This whole track here can be, if you've got it counted differently, don't worry about it. It doesn't mean that I've got it right and you've got it wrong. By no means. I'm just looking at just trying to look into the crystal ball and look sort of higher up, and that's what I've been doing with this. And yeah, either way, we are wave 3 up here. We'll get some sort of corrective move up here somewhere, and then we should get another little move here. That might finish it off, because that would be kind of in line with the yields at that point, but it still take a long time to get there. And we're in Exxon Mobil as well. Let me just have a look at that chart as well. I know US stock charts. Here we go. Yeah, so Exxon Mobil, we've got a long trade in here. I was talking to Alessio that we might move it up a little bit further. So this is still 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've still got wave 3 and 4 to go up here for this. You know what I mean? So this will be, Exxon Mobil will be up at 130. So we're going to move the target up here from the 120 to 130. But you can kind of see if this is going to be moving up here, then obviously this is quite bullish. So when we come back to here, you know, we may end up in a situation where we have to look at this as yeah, it's just a little bit, with all this low's a bit weird here. I mean, this can be counted as an A and a B and a C as a corrective wave. So we could quite easily take out the top over here and push this way up here, you know. That's another thing. So we could be looking at this here as a wave 1 at this point. It's quite possible. and we could put wave 2 here, or we could put wave 2 over here. I'll just leave it sitting there for a moment, but it's quite possible, seeing what's going on with equity as well on this. But we'll see how it goes against the dollar. When the dollar tops and the yields tops, we'll see exactly where this is here. Yeah, but either way, this could be counted up as an ABC. But the main takeaway here today is that we're going to get a correction over here as I've got this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know you can throw stuff at me for that. Wave 3 and 4 here, and wave 4 could probably go here as well. I haven't checked, but we'll be looking at this wave 3, 4, and 5 up here at least. And then we come across to natural gas and natural gas here. And we've got this as two things. We've got this as, you know, for wave 4 up here. We've got 1 and 2 here, and then down for wave 3 here. So we had this as wave 4. We may end up getting wave 4 over there. So this is down for 1 at the moment, and ABC back for wave 2. So we can turn here right now. That's what we can do. If that's not the case, then we'll need to bring wave 4 over to this section here. We're on 1,000 ticks, so I'll just go to 100 ticks and just have a look at that little move to the upside there. So wave 1 here, I've got this one smaller degree here, but still the same thing. 1 here, an A and a B and a C here. So we were looking for 5 waves up here. So I think we've got wave 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave. Looks like it wants to go up further, but this looks like 5 waves here as well. So we'll just see how this top plays out here. Yeah, but it just looks like it looks a little bit corrective to me and wants to go up further. So where have we made a mistake? Where have I made a mistake? I think it's sort of okay. I'll just see how this. I mean, it's not going to go very far from here anyway. The $2 mark. And the other point that we're sort of making before with all of this, so we're definitely in a wave 4, either here or here, and we've got this, you know, here is an A and a B and a C wave up here. So this is corrective. So at some point in the future, we'll take this low out. It's just that we could be getting into a much more complex correction here. I mean, as I mentioned, we could even get into a triangle pattern here, you know. There's a dozen different types of corrections that we can get into here. So at least 6 of them at this point, because we've got 3 waves here. But yeah, it could get rather complicated, but we'll just see how it plays out. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I think we've covered enough. Okay, cheers.